Hi, this is Bruce with Blue Sky Video Productions. Are you connecting with the right people at the right time with the right content? Our guest today is Cynthia Manion. She has been an actress, a model, a former Mrs. New York, and a current bodybuilding contestant. So, at a very dynamic woman with strong dynamic influences. So let's get into the show. Hi, Cynthia. Good to see you.
Hello.
So we started off the show saying you had a really strong background with strong influences. You've been an actress, a model, and a Mrs. New York. How did that all come about?
Well, I am the daughter of an Air Force officer, and doing that makes you move around often, and you learn how to assimilate into any country, organization, type of people, so much that it just becomes part of you. I have traveled the world, east and west coast of the United States, Europe, East Africa, the Seychelles Islands, and had a wonderful time. And mostly I was an ambassador for my father and my mother. For example, when we lived in the Seychelles Islands, it was at the time a British Crown colony. So the American ships came in to refuel, so there was always American dignitaries, and actually it was a very fun time, the cocktail parties and dinner parties, and then we had the British side doing theirs, and Sir Bruce Greypatch, the governor at the time, was unmarried. So as a 10, 11, 12, 13-year-old, I got to be walk around with cigarettes, cigars. Back then it was appropriate. Did you sign the guest book? And you see the ladies dressed in perfect manners, perfect diction. You go, oh, and you start to assimilate. So you want to look up to people that you look up to. Find people that you like what they are. Would you want to be them? What can you borrow from them? So I did that, and I actually wanted to be a nun there, so I got a little pious and holy. My parents went and signed the papers for me to be a nun. Came back to the United States. Was a little tall and gangly, didn't quite fit in anywhere. Decided to be a majorette because I didn't make cheerleading. Did that. So I was walking down the hall. Someone asked me to be in Simplicity Patterns. Did that. Started doing the little spray things at Bloomingdale's. Won a bunch of contests in Washington, D.C. The first Miss Georgetown, Miss Hawaiian Tropic, Miss Certain Girl. Actually, I pretty much put myself through college through doing fashion shows for the Het Company and winning almost every contest I entered back in the day when they actually gave cash awards and scholarships, and you could put yourself through college that way. So you get to know so many people, and everyone helps you along the way. And I'm still friends with most of these people. In fact, I am friends with every boyfriend I ever dated.
Wow.
And I can call them up and say, hey, I'm doing this. Do you have any advice for me? Am I going down the right path? And I got a couple of curveballs thrown at me. My mom died in 1979 of leukemia, leaving me with 3 small children. That kind of makes you stop playing and just dig in and raise beautiful children. She's at Arlington National Cemetery. I visit her often. She'd be so proud right now. And your path continues. We found a nice woman for my dad to remarry, relocated them to the Annapolis, Maryland area. And I took a little jaunt to New York City. Actually, Dad and I were having a power play that night, and he kind of said something, and I said, I'll move to New York City. And he goes, that's the cesspool of the world. So I went there.
Well,
and I have to carry everything far, because when I get something in my mind, when you have a goal, you go towards that goal, and you find the people that want to help you just kind of show up, and you take what you need and you get to your goal. And that particular goal became, I got married and became Mrs. New York and had a wonderful child who was very successful. And came back to the Annapolis area when my stepmother got sick with breast cancer for 16 years. And then my dad got sick and I took care of him for 7 years. I probably should have gone into nursing or become a doctor. But actually, my skills have helped me to earn a living through all this time, selling technology and office products and services and software. which served me well during this pandemic.
Mhm.
If you can sell and if you care about people and if you listen to people, they'll tell you what they need and want, and you can see how you can help them. And pretty much
Excellent.
I've been doing that my whole life. And everyone has a story. Everyone has a seed of brilliance. I read a book recently that really moved me, was Risk Forward by Victoria
Yep.
Laban. And
You've been talking about that book for a
lots of us
while.
gained a little weight during the COVID. I actually have a history of up and down. And I started working out, and I read her book, and I met a woman, Jennifer Moran, who inspired me by being a bodybuilder in the bikini world. And I went, wow. So I started really hard training for that in December. I entered in May 8th, just pretty recently, and got a third place. And I am way over the ages of the young ladies there. And they had gorgeous bodies, and they're so disciplined. And now I've made a whole new circuit of friends there. And it's just amazing how your world travels, and you just keep being the best version of yourself, whichever direction you're going in. And how do you do that? You meet the right people at the right time with the right content, and you show up. You are your best authentic self. I'm telling you my story, just telling you how it worked out. And I'm so blessed, and I have a wonderful life. And I got to meet Bruce and be on Candidly Speaking, and really meeting new people and making new friends along the way that makes the journey so exciting. And you keep learning. And yesterday they gave me some more books to read. And all of these things just make life. I just jump up in the morning to hit sunrise yoga on the dock in Annapolis before I drive here. And I have like back-to-back meetings, and it's just like, it's a wonderful life.
And so, speaking of people you connecting with, hi, Doug. Thanks for tuning in. And Doug has had his own business selling ladders, which is an amazing story. And we probably should have Doug's story on here sometime as well. So I'll reach out to you as well. But let's take it back. I know you actually think you encompassed your entire life in those 5 minutes. But I think I wanted to break that up a little bit into a little bit more pieces. But you did appear on a number of TV shows back when you were Mrs. New York running for Mrs. America. So let's play that clip.
5 years old, young son, married, but aren't you going into something that's really a young woman's game, the beauty pageants?
Oh, we need a little excitement in our life, us old merry folks, and we want to keep all the balls going up in the air. We need a goal to get going and keep ourselves in shape, too.
Now, what's expected of you? How is it different from, say, the Miss America pageant? Do you go through all the same sort of activities and events?
Well, we do all of that. In addition to that, we've got children, husbands, dogs, schedules. We have so much to do.
Now, was this a dream of yours, or is it something that just kind of happened as a lark, that you decided to get back into the pageants?
Well, as a little girl, we all dream of wearing crowns, and it's nice to keep those childhood memories alive.
Lynn still wears one back at the
Does
desk.
she really?
By the way, yeah.
That's terrific.
Excuse me?
And I think you like still wear some crowns as well. So that was a great clip. I know you went on the circuit there back when you were competing, and you're still competing. And is that part of your personality, how you're driven to achieve that next risk forward element in your life?
Absolutely. I think when you have bad things happen to you and devastating things happen to you, if you go into that black hole and stay there, it's not good for you. It's very hard, but you have to pull yourself out. And my brother died just in March, and I didn't want to go in that black hole. So I go, okay. And I pick a healthy goal that is a stretch and put all of that energy that could go into a bad place forward and achieve it. And then you go, ah.
Yep. And so you're also who are your influencers today?
Well, there are so many people helping me in my tribe, and I count Jeffrey Gittimore and Jen Gittimore and Joe Soto and his wife Leanne and Wyatt Woodsmall as my immediate family. And in that, we have a mastermind. You've heard of masterminds? I would highly recommend you join a mastermind, because you can grow and learn and bounce off each other. And hey, your friends make you go live, and you go, okay, I could do this, when I was kind of scared to do it. Doug Wing, he is also coming out with a book, so you get to help each other do things. I've attended classes from Tony Robbins and the Warrens, and every single person has a message that's working for them. Now, that message might not work for you, but you can take pieces of it that can work for you. And you meet more connections, and you open up your world, and you open up your world, and you go, oh, I didn't know this was possible. I didn't know I could do this. I didn't know I could take that ladder and climb the next step and the next step and the next step.
So how do you, okay, guys, the question is, how do you approach these people? Do you just feel that they're just normal people and just kind of, hi, I'll talk, let's talk? Or do you sometimes get standoffish because they are more well-known than you, or more well-known?
Oh, sometimes that happens. You know, some days you have good days when you can just embrace the whole world, and some days you have to go with your flow. But in general, I went to Outbound in Atlanta, Georgia. I had failed miserably at a presentation I had given quite a few years ago, and my manager at the time said, "Did you ever read anything by Jeffrey Gittimore?" And I said, "No." So I drove home and went to the bookstore, Barnes & Noble, and got The Little Red Book of Selling.
Yep.
I read that book cover to cover.
Reaching right here.
And then I heard that Jed Blunt was having an event in Atlanta, Georgia, and that Jeffrey Gittimore was going to be there. So it was big for me, because usually being in a military family, when you go by yourself someplace, you don't. You take your whole family and all your stuff and you move there. And that's vacation. So this for me, getting an airplane ticket and getting a hotel by myself. And I went there for the only purpose was to meet Jeffrey Gittimore, which I did. And I got his autograph, and I told him the story. And I also met Jeb Blunt and his whole host of support team. And they were amazing. And I took their courses and started reading their books. And meanwhile, Jeffrey spoke to me at that moment, and I have been a fan, a follower, a devotee in his tribe ever since then. I'm in his mastermind. I'm going to write a book with him. I'm so excited that all of us are doing so well, because your mastermind builds you, and you go, oh, and then you're so happy for other people's success. I'm so excited that Doug Wayne, who's on here, is writing his book and telling his story. And I even won a ladder from Doug Wing. I love to win stuff. If there was a contest, I go for it. I'm like, oh, yes. I even took a picture on my ladder for Doug Wing and sent it to him and said, thank you so much. It works. I can now reach a higher level. I'm going for the stars.
Excellent.
Literally.
Metaphor. Yeah, I love that metaphor. And so you've got an outgoing personality. How do you recommend other people who are more introverts become more outgoing? Because I know you've got that actress background, the modeling background. Do you recommend introverts taking courses like that, or just getting out there and doing stuff like this on social media, going live and things like that?
Social media is a nice, good place to start, because you can start off with a photograph. You don't even have to be in it if you don't want to. You can put up motivational quotes. You can put up your house. You can develop your interest. You can then grow. You'll have to talk to me, DM me if you want help on this, because there's many different ways. It really depends on talking to you and seeing what your industry is, where you want to go, what your end goal is, who you want to be. Do you want to be in front of the camera, behind the camera? What platforms do your clients use? Are they on LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok? Who am I leaving out? Facebook, Twitter. And there's so many different platforms and so many different ways to reach. Clubhouse. I mean, these are the happening things. Clubhouse, you don't even have to talk on Clubhouse. I mean, you can just go in Clubhouse and listen and get motivated. They don't have to see you, so you don't have to be worried about being an introvert on that one. That'd be a nice, good place. And you can scroll down, and all the stars are in there. Find some to join, listen, get a tidbit, and then branch out. Call me, call Bruce. Bruce will get you on his production show, and then you can start letting people know who you are. They're not going to be able to help. You're not going to be able to help anybody if they don't know who you are. So that's my mission now.
Yeah, just a quick description of Clubhouse is it's like talk radio, where you can just listen all day long to different talk shows and also get involved by clicking and joining people on stage to talk. So that's what Clubhouse is. And it's actually just opened up to people with Androids. For the longest time, it was for Apple iOS users only. And now it's opened up to Clubhouse.
Yes,
opened
and
up
I
to,
have an
Android.
Android, and I have 2 invites. So let me know.
And
then, go ahead.
so as far as being in sales, how does that reaching influencers relate to reaching clients?
Well, I do believe that some people are going too far now and trying to be, I don't believe you sell on social media. You let people know who you are, what your interests are, and you find out how you can help them. And if you make enough of an impact, it takes a few minutes. You can't just do it. You have to put valuable content out there that people want to read. I think you get like 3 likes, 2 comments, 1 follow, and then you're starting a relationship. Then you can reach out and say, hey, I saw that you were on Bruce's, what is this, a LinkedIn Live with us? And I'm
we're
so excited
LinkedIn.
that you were there. How did you come to be there? What brought you into there? What is your interest? Did you want to find out more about social media? And then you build a common ground. Like Jeffrey Gitomer always says, he starts off with, where were you from? Tell me about your room. Tell me about your family. And you get a sense of if they were from Idaho or New York City, and their pace is different. Their thought pattern's different. And you go, oh, and then you go to that side and listen to them, and then you can bring it in. And then once they go and they'll go through your stuff. They'll go and they'll go, oh. And then you say, oh yes, by the way, I'm involved in technology and I do this and that. And you start putting it out there, and they go in and they'll read your blog. They'll go to your podcast. They'll go to your Twitter account. They'll go to your Instagram. So very important. This is a great time to update all of those and make sure they're all congruent, because you don't want to be one person here, one person here, one person here. I'm working on that myself to try to streamline everything so I have one message. Yep. My message is I want to help you. I want to help you with your confidence level and your overall health and fitness, because I think that's the most important thing. But meanwhile, the whole world's technological, and that's what I do. So you can see it's a perfect package.
So where are you most active? What platform?
Right now, I believe my LinkedIn is my most active, and my Facebook. I started playing around with Instagram. I just learned yesterday, I was on a class with Charlene and Brooke Johnson, and they have a great following, and they did a little thing on Instagram Reels, which is new. So you do a photo, a story, starter better. You just create curiosity about yourself, right? 7 seconds. You just go, hey, I'm Cynthia, and I'm doing this great thing with Bruce, and you should check me out. And then put the little thing in there and do lots of hashtags, right? Hashtag Bruce, hashtag confidence, hashtag make more friends, relationship. Put as many of those as you can. Add a little text.
Yes, because because I am the only Bruce on the internet. So if you do hashtag Bruce, you'll definitely get to me.
Okay. HIMMELBLAU. Got it?
And actually, I'm also BSVPTV is my brand across all platforms.
And you can join it and subscribe and share.
Yep.
And he's brilliant. He's helping a lot of people with their podcasts and getting out there, and he can help you. He's already helping me. Look, I'm here. I was with him last night. We did a great show with Michelle, Jesse Vincent, and Kellyanne. And they're just adorable, lovely women. If you want to learn other new things, they have great perspectives on so many things, and they're risking forward. Kellyanne just bought a house unseen and is moving to Georgia, and it is fantastic. And you go, wow, that is so neat. And you go, okay, do I really want to live here? Do I want to change my world? Like, just like a little spark. And then you can risk forward and heck, maybe go win a bikini contest.
So do you join or sign up for many conferences? And the big challenge is, do you execute on those challenges?
Yes. I actually probably signed up for one too many over COVID. But now that I'm back in the office, I have to regulate my time much more carefully. Whichever ones you decide work, like try out a few. You know, like when you read a book, you don't have to go from cover to cover, as Victoria Laban says. You can pick it up any place and go and get your tidbit. So if you go into a mastermind that's not working for you, change. I found a very good home with Jeffrey Gittimore and Jen Gittimore and Joe Soto and Wyatt Woodsmall. So I attend 3 of their conferences in person every year. I'm actually on, Jeffrey has a 9:59 a.m. I have not missed one in over 400 days.
Wow.
It's just blended in. I think it helps me get, okay, this is what I'm doing today. Or if you're going off a little focus, you go, well, okay, if he can do it, it can be done. And I'm doing it.
Yeah. So speaking of Kellen Ann has dropped in to say hi.
Hi.
And so what's in the future for you? Are you looking to do live streaming? Are you looking to become more active on LinkedIn?
I am growing and seeing where my journey takes me and listening to the experts so that I can get better and maximize and become my best. You can look for me on LinkedIn and Instagram and Facebook. Love to have you join more things and see what I'm doing with all these great stars and future stars. There is so much living to be done. Go out and do it. Do it now because life is short. I've lost so many people that I love.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not wasting another precious moment.
Definitely. Thank you. And then real quick to hi, Galen. And so you mentioned that you should be the same name across all platforms. Should that name be unique, or can you just go with your regular name? Because I see you put an F in your name, because when I think I Googled you the other day and came up with some Cindy Manions, and I think maybe one of them might be you.
Yes, I used to use Cynthia Mannion when I was young and innocent and thought I could rule the world before stuff happened. And then I grew into my Cynthia, so I switched everything over to Cynthia Mannion, but I had a really good time as Cindy. But when people are looking for you, you don't want them to have too many different things to look for. You need to be consistent. You have to have a consistent message. Your picture should look like you and be the same on all the platforms. I recently changed mine based on someone telling me I should clean it up. And it's funny because on my Facebook picture, I had a picture of my son and I from seriously 13 years ago. I had never changed it. And guess what? It's easy to do. And the directions are right there. So you could easily do it in Facebook, in LinkedIn. Get a nice picture of yourself, full on, get your face in there, smile.
I think one of the tags I used to promote the show is not who knows you, or it's not who you know, it's who knows you. And Phil just says absolutely, it's who knows you that matters. So if you call on a client and it's hi, this is Cynthia Mannion, and if they've never heard of you, if they've never seen your content, if they're not watching you on your live streams, they'll put you into voicemail, or they won't return your call at all. But if they're following you on your social media and you're connecting with them as much as they're connecting with you, they're going to take your call.
Right. Because people like to buy from people that they know. And the more you engage with them, the more they'll know you. And they'll know your true, authentic self and what you really like. And you'll either meet and bond or you won't. And either way, you'll be ahead of the game. Because one, you don't want to waste time if someone just doesn't connect with you. And on the other hand, I mean, all of my best clients right now are also my best friends. I mean, I've got a wonderful life just from being me and being out there and just sharing your true self.
So how important is it to be authentic and not be a salesperson all the time?
It is the most important thing you can do, because in the end, truth always wins. It always comes out one way or the other. And I never have to worry about what I say because I know everything's in line. So if I forget something, it's going to still come out because that's the truth. People can tell. If you put a face thing or you're fake, can you imagine how hard that would be to maintain on a day when you didn't feel so good, right? And you'd be like, you got to just be who you are. And whatever it is, it's okay because you're perfect anyway. Just the way you are.
Excellent. Any other ideas? I can probably go more into your past history and your very colorful background, but I think it's going forward. Your new identity. Actually, we haven't pulled up your latest competition photos. You want to do that?
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah. So here is with the was it here with Frank, who organized the program.
Yes, Frank
Yeah.
Meekins. He is in the Catonsville, Baltimore, Washington area. He had this event near Baltimore, Washington Airport. There were 110 contestants. Well, I think 120 at the end. Very well run, first class all the way. It happened to be on Mother's Day weekend. He ran a first class event, and he even had all the mothers come on stage and presented them with a rose. It was, I obviously had a great time because I got a very cool trophy and I met some lovely women, and now I'm in the best shape of my life that I've been since my mom died in my 20s.
And so here's another picture. It looks like either before and after.
Well, this is interesting because I had gained a lot of weight, and in the picture on the left in the ruffly bikini, I actually thought I looked great then. And this was just around November, December 2020. And I had really been good all of COVID, exercising every day and eating well, eating healthy, making right choices, limiting my alcohol, drinking lots of water, or no alcohol at all is even better. Drinking lots of water, getting 8 hours sleep, things that make you a better person and a happier person. And then I got on this program with Frank Meekins, and I had reached my goal, and I was like, yes. And he said, oh no, you're going to be this number. And I was like, I haven't been that number since I was in my 20s. And he goes, okay. And then you know how I am. Got the goal. I actually was 2 pounds underneath that. And it felt wonderful. Just making your little baby steps, because I had made one goal actually because I didn't want to be in the 200s again. Okay, I'm gonna be real frank here. And then when I hit 199, I was like, no. And then I made my new goal 172, and I got to 172, and I was like, okay. And then I made my new goal 148, and then I got there, and then I made my new goal 144, then 142, and I was 135 was the goal that Frank Meekins gave me, and I was 133.3.
Wow.
And I am 5'10". And now I'm going to go back and get myself some glutes so I can try it again, because those girls, those bodies are no joke. So I got a Peloton to start working on that for my birthday. And now I'm joining that community and meeting how that works. So I got new friends on Clubhouse, new friends on Peloton, and they're so helpful. People will help you if you ask. Sometimes we don't want to be dumb. Like, we think that people will just, like, guess what? The whole world's different, and this is the time to ask and try new things, because everyone is reinventing themselves, because you have to. So many people lost their businesses, lost their friends, lost their family. They want new experiences. You're there to help them. And you can help them. Whatever your product or service is, you can help somebody. There's some seed in you that can help. So just listen to that little voice, listen to your gut, go on social media, let people know who you are, who you want to be, who you're becoming. It doesn't all have to be all pretty too. Sometimes there's all those pretty pictures. It's a journey.
And so when you're posting on social media, is it personal content? Is it branded content? Is it strictly, here's the piece of equipment I'm selling today content, or what?
Actually, I'm going to start posting some equipment that I've done and some demos in that area, but I haven't done that. I've actually really been on learning things and educating and my life's journey and fun things. I have a Dalmatian, and that Dalmatian has like jumped over my head in a couple of Zoom calls. Someone was like, oh, I'm so sorry, I'm distracted. I'm watching Cynthia get mauled by a Dalmatian. So, like, being real and My focus will probably be to, you know what? I think I'm doing just fine. I'm having a great time. I'm going to continue it. I just try to tighten it up, get better skills, get on social media more, make more friends like you, get to know more people. And together we can reach out, because there are billions of people out there who do not know who we are, and they need to know.
Yep. I think back in school, high school, my goal was for 1,000 people to know me who I did not know. And I think I reached that goal like 5 years ago on Twitter.
Congratulations. And what is it now?
We're slightly over 4,000. I mean, it's a small group, but I think it's more of a targeted group, especially on platforms. And actually, Kellen says she likes sharing her hot mess photos. But I think, again, there are platforms where quality over quantity, especially platforms like LinkedIn, matter more. I'm not going for 10,000 connections on LinkedIn. I'm going
That's
for
another very good point. Yes, because we have millionaires that I have met with less than 1,000, but they're the right 1,000. And we have some that are global now with billions. And you got to just see what your niche is and what you're best at, what you can handle, and how big you want to be, how big of an empire you want to be, like the Tony Robinsons and the Grant Cardones of the world. They're huge. Ken Walls is growing his, but it's manageable, and all his people are involved. Like, we are on his calls. We are reading his courses and taking his classes. And it's important to budget your time, because then you also don't want to be on Zoom calls all the time. You have to be outside walking in nature and breathing all this goodness and enjoying the fruits of your labor.
Yeah,
so what's your goal, Bruce? What's your next goal?
Next goal is get chummy with Sinatra, which is a reference to the old Newhart TV show. One of the characters there was a radio producer, and his goal was to get. This is back when Frank Sinatra was still alive, of course, but his goal was get chummy with Sinatra. So there's a Sinatra out there who I'm looking to get chummy with.
Perfect. How can I help you?
We can talk about that offline.
Okay.
So
awesome.
And it looks like we're just out of time as well. So it's great for helping me out today, and it's great meeting you. I've seen you a couple times on the Candidly Speaking with Shell and Kel show with your message about risk forward, and I think that's a really valuable message that you're still continuing with.
Yeah, Victoria Labalme wrote that book. If you want to pick it up, Risk Forward. It's a small little book packed with a lot of power and moved my soul. It will definitely help. And it's easy reading. You can flip it in any order. You can see what speaks to you. And she's got little cartoon people. They're so cute. And you can go to the website and get all the other back information and the backstory. She's married to Frank Oz, if you know The Voice.
Yep.
And see, just growing your circle, learning. And she's like risking forward, putting out her book. And she's amazing. I spent 15 minutes with her and just was like, oh, wow. So that's why I'm still spreading her message, because I believe in her. And I keep helping anyone that I feel is risking forward.
Excellent. So when's your book coming out?
Actually, my first book will be coming out within the next 18 months.
Okay.
And right now I'm working on who I am now at 21, when I was at 21, when I lost my mother. I think I could help a lot of people going through that, since I lost my grandfather, my mother, my grandmother, my stepmother, my dad, in my little circle that I personally took care of, like nursing them and cleaning up and everything. And it's a lot for a caretaker, and the caretakers have to take care of themselves too. And you can get diminished and feel small and lose your power. And I've been there, and it's tough. And maybe I have a word or something that could help someone.
Excellent. Looking forward to it. And in the meantime, you can spread your message, being a guest on other shows, as well as maybe even producing your own show.
I appreciate that. And thank you so much for having me on your show. It was delightful. And I look forward to working with you in the future.
Great. Thank you. And thanks to all for joining us, and have a great week.